There are two key strategies for finding works on a topic: open searching and citation chasing. In this video, we're going to talk about open searching. Let's say we wanted to write a paper about proposed methods to remove space junk, the 500,000 plus objects orbiting the Earth. In our research, we'd probably want material from scholarly sources, articles published in peer-reviewed journals, books from scholars in the field, and reports from agencies like NASA. From the Penn Library's homepage, a simple search for space junk brings us 44 results from our catalog and nearly 300,000 results from Articles Plus. We could certainly look through the catalog side and find relevant material, but the Articles Plus side is clearly overwhelming. Let's think about how to refine our search within Articles Plus by clicking View and Filter Results on the right side. Interestingly, Articles Plus suggests including the term space debris as well. Space junk might not be the preferred term used in the scholarly literature. On the right side of the page, a Wikipedia preview shows us that another term might be orbital debris. These terms all talk about the same concept, and we don't want to miss an important article just because it uses one term rather than the other. So let's use all three. When we want to use synonyms, we should separate them with the word "or" in caps. One trick: if you're referring to a specific phrase, it's best to put quotes around that phrase, so the words in the phrase are searched together. We don't want articles that have orbital in one section and debris in another. Let's treat our terms as three separate phrases, putting quotes around each one. It looks like we got rid of a lot of extraneous results. We're now down to about 46,000 articles, all discussing some aspect of space junk. But we're not interested in all works about space junk. We want to learn about methods for removal. We can do this by adding the term removal to the search, separated from the first group of terms by the word "and" in caps. When we added "or" into the search before, we were expanding the number of articles that fit our criteria. The more terms linked by "or," the greater the pool of options. When we add a term with "and," though, we're asking the database to be more specific. We want only the overlap where our first grouping of terms and our second term appear in the same place. It helps us narrow down our focus. Notice how I've grouped all of our space junk phrases using parentheses and left removal out of it. I didn't need the parentheses before when I only linked 3 synonyms using "or." Now that I've added a very different term in the mix, though, it's important to help the database distinguish between the groups. If I wanted to use more synonyms for removal, like elimination, I need to put parentheses around that group too. But in this case, I'll just stick with removal. Now we have a more accurate search, and I can start using the filters on the left side. We're only interested in scholarly and peer-reviewed materials for the purposes of this search, so we can use the scholarly and peer review filter. In many cases, you'll want to use journal articles rather than conference proceedings or reviews, so I'll filter to journal articles only. Let's skip down to the subject terms filter. This will allow you to select the tags you want included in the results. Unsurprisingly, the biggest tag is space debris, but this is actually useful. We want articles that are about space debris and not just mentioning the term somewhere in the paper. Subject terms can help you do that by selecting articles with relevant tags. I'm going to open up the subject terms, sort them by rank, and select a few subject terms closely related to debris. I'm now down to only 571 results. This is a good time to experiment with some of the other filters, like this discipline filter. Articles written in international relations journals are going to have a very different disciplinary approach than ones written in astronomy journals. These international relations articles are really focused on policy concerns and geopolitical negotiation, rather than the hands-on practice of developing removal strategies. Selecting astronomy as a discipline will produce very different results. Instead of policy concerns, these papers are more likely to be practical removal proposals, removal with lasers, spacecrafts, and other collection units. Finally, I could use the date and language filters to further refine my results. If I only want to see the latest literature, I could narrow my date range to the last 12 months. Let's review the open searching techniques we covered. Group phrases in quotation marks. Join related items with the word "or" in caps. If you have different concepts in your search, join them with the word "and" in caps. If your concepts have multiple terms within them, like synonyms joined with "or," it's best to create groups with parentheses. Filter your results by date, discipline, subject terms, format type, or by the presence of peer review. Many of these same filters and searching techniques can be used in other databases, not just Articles Plus. Use library guides to find subject-specific databases in your discipline. If you'd like to practice or improve your searching techniques, contact a librarian using our questions form, our chat service, or by stopping by in person.